Awesome. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Kimberly T Inspires. I have a special guest, my friend, my coach. I call her my coach. We haven't officially set anything in motion, but she's definitely my coach. Her name is Roquita Johnson. She is a certified world class public speaking coach and a certified virtual presenter. She is the founder and president of Roquita Johnson Public Speaking LLC, a public speaking training firm that transformed Christian thought leaders and experts from simply being public speakers to being powerful presenters. She's had worked with a variety of national nonprofit associations, private organizations, and speaker bureaus to help their people become confident, clear, engaging speakers and storytellers. Rakita loves focusing on bringing out the best version of someone who already is as a speaker instead of changing who they are authentically. Roquita is proud to be a co-author of Public Speakers Network, Amazon's #1 best-selling book, Speak Up, the ultimate guide to dominate in the speaking industry. Now, I am going to put all her links in the chat so that you can get in contact with Miss Roquita, but I am super excited that she's here with me today because we are going to learn a lot of different nuggets. Okay, Miss Roquita, how you doing today?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good. I am super excited to be here. Have you here with me today. I said this has to go off. I wasn't feeling so well earlier today, but I'm like, oh, we're gonna get it together today, girl. We're gonna get it together. You got Miss Roquita coming, and you got to show up. We're
I'm
not
so
canceling. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you pushed through so we can converse.
Yes, we're not canceling. We're not rescheduling because I got Miss Roquita on the line. Okay. So I just told everybody a little bit about you, but you do so much. You do so much. Go ahead, tell. I know I just told the people who you are, but tell the people basically what made you start doing this. Like, what made you become a public speaker and want to teach others?
I got into public speaking because I hated it. That's the God honest truth. I started getting training for public speaking because it was something I did not like to do and I had to do it for work. I come from a marketing corporate background, and at one particular job I was working at, I was promoted quickly after 6 months. Great, but also horrible because that meant that I could not really hide behind my team members anymore. I would have to lead more of the team meetings, which meant that I had to speak up more. I had to give direction on what I needed the copywriters to do. What did I need the graphic designers to do? And something as simple, what we think is as simple as just having to oversee a meeting, that is still public speaking. It doesn't have to be a formal speech on a stage in front of 500 people. But that situation, it made me fearful because I did not feel as competent when I had to speak in front of my team. And one day, after a particularly nerve-wracking experience, I was like, I need help. And then I went for help. I actually started out with Toastmasters. That's how I got into it.
Wow. And you just took off from there. You are so amazing. To watch all your videos, being mindful of all your nuggets. So I reached out to you because I felt that I shouldn't be the only one getting all your nuggets, helping people to get out there and do what God has called them to do. They feel like sometimes, oh, they're just the author. They just the author, so they don't have to do public speaking. I said, who's going to promote your book? Who's going to know that you're out there? And then when you're asked to speak, what are you telling them? What's your price, your budget, everything like that. So a lot of people kind of like downplay themselves. Oh no, I'm not a public speaker. I cannot even ask for that amount. They feel ashamed, like because this is their first time going out. They newbies, so they kind of nervous about going out there. So I know that we're gonna have a lot to discuss today, coach to coach. So the first thing I just want to just talk how about that having a confident mindset for those newbies that go out there and just they feel like they're not like everybody else, like the Les Browns and Roquita Johnsons, and they're not like the Tony Robbins out there. They're not up there, so they feel like they shouldn't be asking for anything. What would you say to those people?
With anything else in life, it really does start in the mind. And I know that probably sounds really cliche, but it's the truth. When you hear some speakers, for example, some speakers, when they're saying, I feel like I can't grow my speaker business, or I'm not getting the money that I want to be paid for these speaking engagements. Speaking engagement, whether you're actually on the stage giving a keynote, whether you are doing a breakout session at a conference, whether you are doing a workshop for a client or a training, those are all speaking opportunities. But if you do not have the confidence to ask for it, it's usually because you do not believe that what you are providing has that value. And it could be the most valuable service that you are offering. It could be a training, for example, that this company really needs. But if you are not confident in the ask and asking for what the value is that you're providing, asking for what you're worth, the value that you are providing, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. I remember I had a business coach once, and she said she has clients all the time who, when she reviews the services that they offer, she can tell it's a very high ticket offer, way up in the thousands. She could tell that client that this is worth, whatever that amount is all day. She could tell them that all day till she's blue in the face. However, if that client does not believe, they don't believe it, and they don't feel confident enough to ask for that amount, then it's not going to happen. Nothing she can tell them is going to make up for the lack that they're feeling within. Do you understand what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
confidence that's not there, even though that service could be worth it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. If they themselves don't believe it, it's going to be evident in how they ask. You're not going to ask confidently. You're not even going to ask for that number at all. You're going to underprice yourself. So I know that's something that I think new speakers more so feel, because after a while, when you've been in the speaking industry for a while, I think even if maybe you're not sure if they're actually going to accept that number,
right.
you're going to put it out there. You're going to go for the ask. You're going to put it out there. And if you need to negotiate from there, then so be it. But
Right.
you really do need to start out in a strong place by asking for what the true value is that you're offering. You have to believe it yourself.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. We kind of make ourselves or talk downplay our gifts that God has given us. Especially as Christian speakers, we don't believe that, oh, we can't charge that much, but this is what God gave us. He didn't want us to belittle our gifts or our talents and stuff like that. I feel like if you still give him honor, You still give some kind of like tithing if you go to church, do that. But they feel like because you're a Christian speaker or you Christ-like that you feel like you don't have to, you shouldn't be charging that much or charging at all. You know, and I also know that pastors who have to go someplace and speak, they have to have something. Either somebody's putting them up in a hotel, or they paying for his lunch or his dinner, stuff. You know, like when he comes out to speak, they may not have a lot, but they have something to offer him. So I'll figure like something as far as a public speaker, if the people that's asking you to come out to speak, perhaps they could purchase your books. What do you think about that? Or should there be something else in line with that?
I want to make
Like,
sure I understand what you're asking me exactly. Are you
uh,
asking if how they should be compensated if they're
yeah,
not able to provide monetary payment?
yes.
Okay, great question. There is always a way to get paid as a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is an opportunity where they can't pay you an honorarium, they can't give you a monetary payment, then there are other avenues to explore. One of them is just what you mentioned. If you have a book, you can see if you can sell from the stage. Sell your
Mm,
book from the stage or have a vendor's table. See if they will give you a vendor's table for free. So during the event and after the event, maybe you have someone man that table during the event. And after you speak, you can, go to your table, but you can sell your books there. Or if you have a service or a program that you offer, you can sell from the stage by offering that service or that program. Or maybe it's something where they will have their videographer or their photographer give you a nice recording of your video, your
right.
presentation, give you some nice photos, because all of those things add value. You can always use those photos and promotional materials for yourself. Photos are not cheap when you have a really good photographer, when you want a good photographer. So you can always ask for things like that. There are a lot of ways for you to get paid and it not just be monetary. It's
Absolutely.
important to think about what else would you find of value, and talk to them about that. You would be surprised what you can get, but you should never just totally speak for free. It takes time to prepare a speech. It takes a lot of time to prepare something that is valuable for the audience, that they're going to remember, that's going to enrich the audience long after they've stopped hearing you. Speakers put in time. Your time is valuable. Your
And
time is important.
those books aren't free. Those books
No.
aren't free.
And sometimes when it comes to books, besides the vendor's table, you can also ask if the organization that is hiring you, they can buy books in bulk. Some of them
Right.
will do that. You can put that in the contract. If they're not paying you, maybe they can buy, I don't know, 150, 200 books, depending on how large their organization is. Some of them will do that. So there are different ways to get paid.
Oh, wow. That is so good. This is so good. Nice, valuable information. So there's another question. Why is it essential for, well, I said, well, we already went over that. Why is it essential for public speakers to have this kind of mindset? New speakers, actually, new speakers that have the confident mindset. So yeah, I believe that you answered that in the beginning, that we need to have be confident speakers, right? So how can we improve our chances of getting hired again?
So once you've been hired by your client,
Yeah,
getting asked back again.
yeah, like expat, or probably perhaps maybe they want to refer you to another
Well,
place.
number one, to get hired back, exceed their expectations, give them the very best that you can give them, whatever that was, that keynote, that training that you did for their organization. blow their minds with it. Whatever you promise, give them that and then some. Give them your best. So let's start there. No one wants to hire anyone again who they were not hitting it out of the park. They were not at least even meeting the standards or meeting the goals that were set for that keynote or that workshop. So that's number one. You need to exceed their expectations with that. But also getting hired again, I think a conversation is worth that. Let them know that you really enjoyed this speaking opportunity, talking to their people, training them. You would definitely be open to coming and speaking with them again. It never hurts to let people know that. Don't assume. You never know. They might want you to come back, maybe do a different training next year. I have a client like that in California. For the past 2 years, they've asked me to come back always around the same time of year. They know what my wheelhouse is: communication, storytelling skills, all of that. So they will ask me to do trainings within my expertise on different subjects, but still within my expertise. So you can do that. Tell them that you are open to coming back and doing a training. Go from there. But also, what I also like to do is I'm very, I want to call it old school, but I do believe in a personal touch. The personal touch is still very much important. Here's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
One of my recent clients, our contract ended in mid March or so. I've been working them since last year, doing a workshop, a training with them every quarter. So what I did was, in addition to having a follow-up conversation with them, just seeing what his my main contact, seeing what his feedback was, how he liked the trainings for the past year. I also like to send thank you cards to the people who have brought me in to speak to their people. And how often do you think people are sending thank you cards, handwritten cards at that? Have you seen one lately?
Wow.
Handwritten cards. It's such a simple
That's
little
a
thing.
good idea.
I keep I keep blank thank you cards in my desk. Like I always have a stash of them. They cost nothing. Like you can buy them at Walmart or the dollar store and get a pack of 8. But I handwrite my notes out, thanking them for choosing me. They really could have gone with anyone, but they decided to go with me. I am honored. I don't take that for granted. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your people, to speak into them. I want them to leave better than how they came before we started the training. So I want them to leave better off. And then in addition, what I will often do is inside that gift card, I'll give them a gift card to some place that they can eat at or get coffee or tea, something like that. Whether that is, it's usually like Dunkin' Donuts, something like that that I know is probably everywhere, but something that I know is close in their area. But most people drink coffee or tea. It doesn't have to be anything grand, but it is a nice touch. And even one of my clients, the one I'm talking about that I finished up my last training with them in March, he texted me because he had my phone number and he let me know that he just got the gift card. I think he was out of the office for a little while. So he said, "Hey, I just got your thank you card. I got the gift card. Thank you so much." And I told him, "Thank you. Like you were the one that found me. He found me on LinkedIn and brought me in as someone for his organization to consider to teach public speaking skills." So, I mean, he really was the one that I needed to thank. So, but it's little things
I,
like that. The personal touch really makes a difference.
I love it, guys. You hear that? A personal touch. Go out and get those blank thank you cards and buy them a cup of coffee. Something that they will love. A tea, coffee, they can purchase anything. They will love I mean, who doesn't like anything in the mail, right? Who doesn't like gifts? Now,
Exactly. It's not a bill. It's not a bill. It's a
right,
thank you card and a gift card.
right. It's not a bill. How long do you think that we should wait before that? Before reaching out, should we send it out right away? Should we send out the thank you cards right away as soon as we're done? Like if we're home, get in the house, we're done, we get ready to sit down. The job is not over. So should we just send out the card right away, get the card ready, get the gift card the next day, and just send out the letter, the mail? Or how long do you think that a person should wait or not wait?
I mean, as soon as the speaking opportunity is done, pop it in the mail. There's really no specific days I'd recommend. Just as soon as it's done. I mean, if you do it that day, that's amazing. If you have the cards on hand, but sometime during that week, I'll send out my gift card to thank them. I just want to make sure that I get it out, that I do not forget. I wanted to get it there sooner than later. But yeah, send it out soon. When I'm thinking about this in a larger, what's the word I'm looking for? In the grander scheme of things, it's
Mm-hmm.
not so much about the thank you card, but when you're thinking about when to reach out to this client about getting rehired again.
Uh-huh.
So, number one, immediately, like I was saying, to thank them for hiring you, letting them know that you are available if they want to bring you back in again next year, or maybe even before the year is up, they might need your services again. So I'm going to let them know that. But also around September, October, that's also, I would say, let me back up a second. September, October, those are times of the year when a lot of companies are doing their budgets for the next year. They're thinking about where to allocate their funds, and that would also include professional development, or if
Mm.
they're putting on any type of events and they might need a speaker. So before September hits, think about June, July, August, start getting on your radar. Even if you have not spoken at this company before, get on their radar. Reach out to someone in the organization, the department that would be most appropriate for you to contact for your services, and introduce yourself, pitch yourself. You know what I mean? Just let them know who you are, what you do. You would love to be able to offer this to their employees or their members. How would their audience benefit from what you offer? Maybe there is something that you've learned about them in the news recently. You can include that in your email as well. That shows them that you've done your research on them. So that's another good time of year to start reaching out to organizations before September, October, when it's budget time.
Nice, nice. I love that. I love that. And because I know that people who have books, a children's book, so they should reach out to maybe nonprofit schools, elementary schools in their area, libraries. What do you think about the libraries? Because libraries actually want a free copy of your book. And do you think the libraries, I guess, because of the board of directors and stuff like that, could probably invite you out to speak. But as far as libraries are concerned, I don't think that well, for me, I don't think they actually reach out, as far as I know, to have speakers come out. Or should we not downplay? You never know. Should we not downplay the libraries and stuff like that? What do you think? As far as libraries getting your book, should we send our books out to the libraries or for children?
I personally, I don't have experience with my book to sending it to a library.
Mm-hmm.
However, if especially the library is in your hometown, if you have written a book, you absolutely should reach out to them. Libraries, they are always looking for what's new, what would their audience be interested in. They have all different types of genres in a library. So especially if you're a hometown girl or a hometown boy, you're someone local and you've written a book, that's
Mhm.
something that they're going to look at that they would be interested in having. You know, more likely than not, they'll at least consider it. You're local, you have this book. So, absolutely. I mean, look at all of your options to get your book in there. If you're asking about the book because you're thinking it will lead to speaking engagements, then yeah, why not do that? Why not ask them about it? Get your book in there. That can open up the door to conversation about maybe if you want to do a book signing or at least to a speaking engagement, something at least some more visibility for you, period.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So, should we ask for testimonials? What do you about to think about testimonials? Of course, like what about testimonials? How should the testimonials be sent? Was it a video one, or people like to um, type them out and then send them to you in an email? But which one do you think is the best way to do it? Do a video testimonial of what your speaking engagement, or a handwritten or typewritten one, I should say?
Well, number one, absolutely ask for a testimonial when you have finished any speaking engagement. Always have that as one of your post speaking tasks to do. And do it sooner than later because you want to ask while it is still fresh in your mind.
Like,
If you can get the testimonial, not just from the person who brought you in and they've had the chance to watch what you did as well, to experience it, but also from the audience. If you can get testimonials from them as well, that's good to do that, as many as you can get. What
mhm.
some speakers will do if they're on site, so not virtual, but if they're on site speaking, sometimes right after their event, like maybe you're at a conference where you were speaking, so you've got a break. People are so excited about what you've heard. People are coming up to you, talking to you. You can ask them if they'd be willing to give you a testimony on camera. I mean, they are still raving about you. They are still in a great mood about what they just witnessed seeing you. So you can always ask for a testimony right there in the spot. If people are comfortable speaking on camera, they will not have a problem. They'll do it for you. Not everybody is comfortable on camera. You can always ask for written testimonials from people. They can send it to you in an email. I I always tell my clients when they have a speaking engagement, better to ask for a video one. Put that out there first. See if they are comfortable doing a video testimonial. There is something about seeing and hearing someone gush over what you just did. Yes, reading is great too. Some people are very powerful with the pen. They know how to string their words together just right. But for someone who may be considering bringing you in your organization and they are able to just see the joy, the enthusiasm in that person's face, the event organizer who brought you in, or the audience member who heard you speak, there is something about that. Seeing is believing, as that old saying goes. So if they're not comfortable with video, again, you can ask for written because written has its place too. You can always include it somewhere in your website or in your speaker one sheet or any other materials. But I always try to go for a video first. And you can put links to the video, of course, too, from different places.
Absolutely. I hope you guys are taking notes, okay? Notebooks, pens, and paper are out right now because this is so valuable. And not to mention, this is also going to be recorded, but take notes, okay? Take notes, write it down. My favorite part is this question here for you, Ms. Roquita. Can pay to play hurt or help an entrepreneur or public speaking?
Pay to play. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because you actually probably have a little bit more experience in this than I do.
Because it seemed like, first of all, I like it. It is good. It was fun. However, it's just that it can help you. However, I think that you also should use what you got. Use what you got. You got Instagram. Use what you got. Go live. You got Facebook. Go live. Use what you have. Use what you have for your audience first. So that way, when you do like a pay to play or something, you could bring your audience with you. Okay, so that you have, but not a bunch of people, but you have your own audience there. I know that your audience and their audience may be different. So I figured that you can't do pay to play with everyone. It has to, your audience has to be the same
Mhm.
with theirs.
Well,
Okay.
let me add to that. Yes, it's great if their audience is like yours. However, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be. If you
Mm-hmm.
have an audience that they're different, that person, that speaker who's offering the pay to play opportunity, if they serve an audience who is different, but that audience would still find high interest in what you talk about, that's
Mm-hmm.
still an audience that would be worth perhaps taking advantage of the pay to play opportunity. I mean, there's a host of variables to consider for pay to play, but here's what I mean by the audience example. Let's
Okay.
just say you are a speaker who talks about nutrition, diets, meal planning, anything in that area. Another speaker has a platform where they talk about fitness. Okay, that's their thing. They're showing people how to tone up, how to build muscle mass, all that good stuff, how to get ripped. That audience would most likely have interest in what you talk about with nutrition. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because they're in that mindset. That's what they're interested in. They're interested in health, and most likely from a holistic perspective, not just the fitness, but what I'm putting into my body. So that could be it could be a valuable pay to play opportunity to take advantage of. I just don't recommend pay to play when your audience and your audience are not even similar. Like there's no crossing of them.
Mm-hmm.
They would not have interest in what you speak about. I think it's iffy. I've never done pay to play. I know you have though, so you definitely will probably have more more of the stories you could talk
Yeah.
about with that. So I don't know. I'll toss the ball back to you on that. You're the expert with that.
I heard, well, from the best, who I presume is the best, as far as the public speaking, my coaches who are public speakers, they said that, especially one in particular, who said that you must bet on yourself, right? And I feel that bet on yourself first, and I feel that so much because I feel like you'll go out and paying for these different platforms. And you'll keep on going in a circle to me. That's what I felt like I was doing. I mean, granted, the pay to play was good. Yes, it was great. I learned a lot, but I also learned about myself just from that one statement because I didn't bet on myself first. This was not even an option. Okay, to do this. This is betting on
Oh,
myself first. And I am so glad that I have the opportunity to speak with you. And my other coach, like, she just flat out said that is, I guess it's the name on the agenda. Let it be a big name on the agenda that brings you in, you know.
that's true too. If it's a big enough name, and again, their audience really does need to align with your audience. It needs to cross with them in some way. But yeah, if it's a big enough name and you are connected with them somehow with this opportunity, then that can obviously give you great visibility. Name is very important. I would agree there. But I love what you said, bet on yourself. again, I know we've had these conversations before, and I absolutely believe that before you pay to play, did you even try to promote yourself? Did you let the world know what you speak about, what your expertise is, how you can make this organization's people better in whatever way after you've had the opportunity to talk to them? Bet on yourself first. Get your social media channels going, get your marketing going, be consistent with promoting yourself, get yourself out there, pitch yourself to organizations, send the emails out. We have to do that. Get your email list going, grow your email list, like start organic. Bet on yourself. You would be surprised. You'd be surprised what you can actually achieve. So I a big proponent of that. You don't always need to start out with pay to play. I know a lot of new speakers, that's something that they will wrestle with. Should they pay all this money to be a part of this person's book or to be a part of this person's event to speak on the stage? Because you're definitely paying some big money. And if you're paying big money, you need to be sure about what it is that you are being promised or you're being offered. Because, and you can probably attest to this, you've gone to speak, and now what? The event has ended. Are they still promoting clips from the event, clips of you speaking? That would be great if so. Did you get the video at all? Are they promoting you consistently? Like, what are you getting out of it? You just don't want it to fall flat, is my point. The event is over. What is happening now? How are you able to benefit? I think you really have to weigh what it is that they're offering. Is it with what you're looking for to get out of this?
Wow, that's good. I do appreciate all that. That is phenomenal, and I love it. And I am going to make sure I put my best foot forward always. I am going to bet on myself first, because also too financially, if you're just starting out in public speaking, you will want to grow your own platform first instead of growing helping. I mean, you can help somebody else, and that's exactly what you're doing by paying them. So I feel that you also could. I learned that you could take that money and put it into, making sure you get your next book out, or like you said, marketing materials for yourself. So betting on yourself is number one. Do that first before you do anything. And I had to learn that. And the platforms I was on, they were great. They were phenomenal. However, it would be even more better if I would have betted on myself first and promoted myself first at all costs. The money that I put in that I could have put in myself as far as
Hmm.
marketing, creating more books and advertisement. Absolutely. So, Ms. Rakita, this was phenomenal. Is there anything else you could share with us today? I think we went through. This was a great conversation. This is the conversation, guys, that I have with her just on a regular. Okay, she gives me all these great nuggets, and I should be phenomenal by now. No, I am. I know I'm because I know she's gonna say, "Why did you say that?" But I know I am phenomenal,
That's right.
and I just love you so much. I mean, I met her in Toastmasters. She shot off. She not only was in Toastmasters, guys. Toastmasters have these speech contests, and you got pretty far. You got pretty far.
Yeah, I've competed in different contests in Toastmasters and made it all the way to district. But for me, what will always be close to my heart is it's 10 years ago now. I can't believe it's been 10 years when I made it to my District 46 in New York, made it to the district stage for the humorous speech competition and placed number one. So won that contest out of 8 contestants, and just one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Like, I just remember I practiced so hard for that. And humor is one of those things that can be a little iffy for a speaker, and you'll hear speakers say that because everybody has a different idea of humor. So the fact that I won that, I mean,
Well,
that
you
always sticks out in my
surpassed
mind.
more than 8. You surpassed
Mhm.
more than 8 now. If people know the Toastmasters, you surpassed those in the club. You surpassed those in the area. You surpassed those in the. So there's more than 8 contestants.
True. That's true when you think about it that way. I literally was just talking about the 8 of us who were on stage. So actually, so 7 other people that I beat out. But you're right. If you look at it from the area, club, division, district level, it's a lot more. There are a lot more contestants.
Yeah,
But
you did a great job. You surpassed everybody, and I believe that if you would have kept on going, you would have brought us home a trophy for 46. I believe it. I believe it. Just in case you wanted to go back in here, but I know your schedule is full right now, and
dare,
you have
dare to
another
dream.
district. You have another district, but I know District 46 is always going to be a part of your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. I know you asked me if I had anything else to say. My parting words to speakers would be to, like we mentioned, bet on yourself and have confidence. That was the title, that's in the title of this interview. Confidence in the speaker marketplace. It really does start within. Whatever you speak about, whatever your passion is, put your expertise out there. Be consistent with promoting yourself and figure
Mm.
out what's the best channel for you to be on to reach the audience that you want to speak in front of, because you do not have to do all the things. You don't have to be everywhere. If link First of all, no matter what your audience is, I always recommend LinkedIn, because people who sign checks are on LinkedIn.
Ooh,
Decision
I love that
makers.
slogan. They need to hire you for that one.
No, I mean, but that's just
That's the
honest.
truth. That
Decision
is the truth.
makers are on LinkedIn. They might not be on Instagram, but decision makers, they have an account on LinkedIn more times than not. So get on there, promote yourself, make your expertise known, what you talk about, make connections on there. If Instagram is also where your audience is, get on there. If you're someone, like I said before, let's just say you're in nutrition, or if you're in fitness, you definitely want to be able to show images of what it is, the foods, the dishes that you prepare. Show workouts, show some type of workout exercises that people can do on Instagram. Instagram is very visual, so that would be perfect for people who have this type of expertise. But wherever your audience is hanging out at, that's where you need to be. If you are an interior designer, if you speak about design, you need to be on Pinterest. People are always looking for design ideas for their home on Pinterest. So think about what it is that you are an expert in, that you talk about. Go where your audience is. You do not need to be everywhere.
Mm. Thank you for that. That is good. That is good. You don't need to be everywhere.
You
And you can
don't.
start on your biggest. Should you start on your biggest platform? Well, YouTube is huge by itself. You could promote,
YouTube.
YouTube and like you said, LinkedIn too. YouTube and
You-
LinkedIn. So
YouTube.
I did downgrade Facebook a little bit. I'm sorry, but you told me not to do that. But like you said, so I have all 3 lined up. Basically, Facebook.
Listen, when you mention YouTube, if someone is a speaker, you absolutely need to be on YouTube. You're a speaker. People need to see you speaking. If you're just starting out and you're like, well, I don't have any video footage of me speaking somewhere yet, that is okay. Still get on YouTube, create your YouTube channel, start creating videos around your expertise, give some information, give some valuable tips, something that is going to catch the eye of someone who may want to have you speak to their audience, start where you are, but just get started. But absolutely, you do need to be on YouTube if you are a speaker. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is the number one search engine. So YouTube is the number two search engine. You need to be there. You show up in results. If people are looking for something in your niche, your expertise, your video can show up in the results. So why wouldn't you want to be on there?
Wow. Thank you for that. That is totally awesome. So again, what I need to do is actually tell us how we can find you. Tell us how we
Yeah.
can find you. Mm-hmm.
You can go to my website. It is www.roquitajohnson.com. Or you can also find me on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Instagram. I have a lot of content on Instagram. And I've also got some stuff on TikTok a little, and then YouTube. I definitely have content on there. So please go to any one of these channels and check me out. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Let me know that you saw this video. This is how you found me on Kimberly's podcast. I would love to connect.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Okay. I will make sure I get that handwritten card out there to you as soon as possible, as well as the gift card. It's coming to you. Okay. We're going to get it when we get off the line. Because listen, it's okay. Yes, you do. You deserve it. Everybody, you drink tea? I know you drink tea. Everybody.
I love tea. I am tea drinker number one.
You need to have a gift card with tea for tea. Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. We talk about that later. Just in case I don't want you to say their names unless they're gonna pay you for an endorsement. So when we get off, you can tell me which one that you want. Okay? Because unless they're gonna pay you, then you can endorse them. You can tell them what you want. So I love you. I love this lady. Okay. And yes, we also want to talk about you becoming my coach also, because I don't have many, and I think that's okay because I have two. That's very important to me. That's you and another one. She's phenomenal too. And it's just that you just gotta, your circle is very important. Your circle is definitely very important.
Definitely.
Speaking into your ear. So I feel like this podcast this podcast is very important for those who are starting out as public speakers, or I also have other people lined up as educators, and they just have their testimonies to tell. I'm not gonna lie. When I first started out, I thought as a public speaker I had to hide my faith. I had to hide out who I was. But seeing you as a Christian public speaking coach, I was like, wait a minute. You blew my mind with that. It was just like, oh, I could talk about my faith. I could write little things, like write my books and add little scriptures, or just do writing speeches, and I talk about faith. That's just who I am. I can't hide who I am. I can't hide my authentic self. And you taught me that. I don't know whether you know it or not, but this is why I follow you. This is why I always watch your videos. And yes, because you taught me that I could be authentic in my faith and who I am. This is me. And I guess my audience who's attracted to me will be there. So I don't have to worry about being somebody else or not talk about. I love talking about Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say, well, not sorry, but not sorry. I love talking about him. He brought me too far.
Listen, you being yourself, you're going to attract the people that you're supposed to attract by being yourself. If you're not being yourself, you're going to attract the people that you don't really want, that you don't really want to, that's not your audience to speak to, things like that. So it pays to always just be yourself anyway. But yeah, your faith, I don't believe in hiding my Christian faith. There are a lot of people out here, they're not Christians, and they make it clear what they are into. They make it clear and they're unapologetic about it.
I
And
think so.
I'm going to be my authentic self too. And my faith is very important to me. And you know what? The people that, whoever you're looking for, they're looking for you too. And I know this because the women, because I mainly work with a lot of women. I will work with men too, but just women are attracted to me. So the women who I coach, the majority of them, they'll tell me, you were who I was looking for. They'll tell me, I typed in the search engine, Christian woman public speaking coach, female public speaking coach, Christian, something along those lines, and I popped up high in the search engine results. So I've had my clients tell me that you were who I was looking for. So see what I mean? It just pays to be yourself, because whoever you are looking for, they are looking for you. You don't need to speak to everybody. We have a lot of coaches out here, and there is a segment for each coach. There's a segment for you. I wouldn't even want to coach everybody. I'm not interested in coaching everybody. I've turned down clients, potential clients, people want to work with me for different reasons, but some of them, they just weren't right. Which is why it's important to have discovery calls, because you want to see if this will be a good coaching client relationship. So, yeah.
Oh wow, I like that. Thank you for that. That's helpful for me, and I know that's going to be helpful for others. And I just want to say, I'll ask you again. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Because if not, I kept you for 2 hours. Well, for an hour. I kept you for an hour, a little bit over. Okay.
No, I think I said everything I need to say before. Again, like you said in my introduction, I love working with Christian speakers. And not that you have to have a Christian speaking topic that you speak on,
Right.
but your faith is a big part of who you are. And usually people of faith, they do like to weave in their faith somewhere along their messages. It doesn't have to be a purely religious or a spiritual topic. You could be talking about money management, but we know money management is talked about in the word too. So you can always weave in those biblical principles if you want. There's a way to do things, but I just say all that
There is
to
a way
say
to do things. You
it doesn't
don't.
have to be just a religious topic that you talk
Right.
about. Men
But
and
you
women
know
in
who you
life.
are. I know who I am. So I won't have somebody on here doing tarot cards. Okay? I'm not going to have somebody on here want to do sacrifices and stuff like that. No, we're not doing it. So you know who I am right off the bat, right out the gate. You know that I'm a Christian public speaking coach. That's it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you got to come to me and want to quote the Bible throughout the whole speech or write yourself a sermon. I mean, I probably could help you with that too, but you don't have to be that person, okay? It's just that I know when you search for me, you know what you're going to get, okay? Faith is a big thing and part of me. I'm not saying I'm going to hit you over the head with a whole bunch of scriptures, but you know who I am. You know who you're going to be working with. So, yes, so I love that. And Roquita, thank you for your time. Thank you for being on here with me. You know I could talk to this lady all day, right? But don't worry, she's gonna, when you see me flourish and blossom, you're gonna know why. Because I have Miss Roquita as my coach. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you for
Thank you
joining
for
Kimberly
having
T.
me.
All right, everyone. I want to say good night and thank you for joining. And catch us back here for some more important videos that I'm going to constantly put out there to help us along. And yes, it's going to be some guest speakers. I always like to call them my co-hosts. Okay, I don't just say that they not, just guests. They co-hosts. They're my co-hosts. So I want to say thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you, my love.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. And we'll be talking to you soon. Don't forget to look, follow, subscribe to myself, my YouTube, my Facebook, and my LinkedIn page, Kimberly T. Mitchell. Look, again, you could Google me too, Kimberly T. Mitchell. You know, it's this one with the alopecia, okay? Make sure you look her up and make sure you look up Roquita. I left her links in the bio in the comment section below so that you can find her easily, okay? And everybody have a great night. Bye.